Hey, it's another little Wayne bite, just a little taste of this and that, and I'm still in Texas at my folks' house in Houston. And when you're in Texas, you gotta have chicken fried steak. It is a staple of everybody's diet here, or at least mine when I used to live here. And I used to have a Texas accent a long time ago too, but that kind of went away. But it comes back every now and then when I'm having tequila. Now, before we get started, just a reminder, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll get more recipes, craft ideas, travel tips, even restaurant reviews, all in the same spot. Just click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you always know when new videos are coming out. So let's get started. Now, a chicken fried steak is literally just a cube steak that's been battered and fried like fried chicken. And a cube steak you can get at the butcher. It's basically a medium-sized cut of beef that's been tenderized by running it through a machine and has all these little perforated holes in it. Now, when I get it, this is about 1.5 pounds worth. That's enough for 2 really big appetites or 4 smaller appetites. I will actually take it, and each one of these I'll tenderize a little bit more to my liking to make it even more tender. So that's step number 1, and I'll let those sit for about 30 minutes at room temperature before I start to fry them. Now, to get ready to fry them, you're going to need some flour and you're going to need some batter. So for the flour mixture, what I'll start off with is I'll start in a sort of a shallow dish or a disposable container. I'll start with 1 cup of flour, along with 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of oregano. I'm going to mix all that together till it's nice and smooth and blended. And in a shallow bowl now, number 2, I'm going to make my batter. Now that batter is 1 cup of buttermilk. Don't worry about the buttermilk. You're not going to taste it at the end. 1 cup of buttermilk along with 1 egg. And then you're going to add in there 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then I use 1 tablespoon of Louisiana hot sauce. Now, I like my Louisiana hot sauce a lot. If you don't like that, you don't have to include that in your dish, but I love the flavor, and it won't be too overpowering, even though it's a tablespoon worth, so it's all your choice. Anyway, you mix all that together, and you're good to go for your frying. So the next step is to batter your steaks. The first thing you're going to do is dip them in the flour mixture, get all the excess off of there after you've dredged it completely. Then you're going to dip it in the buttermilk egg mixture, dip it in there, get it covered everywhere, let the excess drip off, and then dip it back in the flour mixture one more time, and then let that extra dust off as well. And you're good to go. And repeat that with the rest of them, and you're ready to start frying. Now for the frying, you're going to start out with a frying pan, a medium-sized pan. Now, the traditional way of doing this is to fry this in vegetable shortening. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to use vegetable oil, but you can use Crisco if you like. But anyway, I'll take about 2 cups of vegetable oil, and I'll bring it to a high heat, sort of a medium-high heat. You don't want it to crazy hot, but you want it pretty hot. Now, once the oil is ready, and I usually know it's ready when I sprinkle a little bit of flour on top and it starts to sizzle up, you're going to take this and probably get 2 steaks at a time in here, and you're going to ease them in the pan away from you, so you splatter the oil away from you, not on you. And these are only going to go about 3 minutes per side until they're ready. Now it's beef, so it only needs to be at about 145 degrees anyway, so 3 minutes per side is going to be just fine. Now after 3 minutes per side, I'll take them out, I'll put them on aluminum foil and cover them with a little bit more aluminum so they're ready to go when I'm ready to serve them up. Now here's the fun part. To make the cream gravy, you're going to take all the oil in the pan and pour it off into a bowl. Be very careful, it's very hot, as you know. You're going to take 1/4 of a cup of that oil and put it back into your pan. After you've done that, you're going to put 1/4 of a cup of flour into the pan along with the oil. You're going to whisk that together until it gets nice and blended. You're going to sort of cook it for about 2 minutes over a medium-high heat. Sort of cook the floury flavor away from that, making a little bit of a roux. And then the next step is to pour 2 cups of whole milk into the pan. Pour it in very slowly. It's going to sizzle up. Be very careful. You're going to whisk that together for about 3 more minutes. The process is going to start off with some lumpy bits, but the more you whisk it, the smoother it's going to get. And after about 2 to 3 minutes, it's going to look nice and creamy, just like that. Lovely. Now you're going to add into that next 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1 full teaspoon of pepper. Pepper is a good part of this dish, and you want to see that pepper in that white cream gravy when you're done. Now here's a tip now. If you cook it too long and that gravy gets really thick, you can just thin it out with a little bit of milk, and you're good to go. Not a problem at all. So to serve this baby up, I've got a plate here. This is enough for 1 big hungry eater like me, so I'll put 2 of them on a plate here, and I'll just spoon or pour that beautiful gravy right on top. And there is my dish, nice and lovely, little slice right there. That looks good. Well, that looks good, but I've also got one right here, additional for me as well. I'm gonna pour a little gravy on here just so you see it up close and personal. Does that look good or what? Hey, all the information you need is in the information section below, including the recipe. Let me know what you think. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Also, leave me your comments. I love to know what you think about this recipe, things I've done in the past, or anything you'd like to see in the future. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget that like button. And we'll see you next time. And I'm going to eat now. Ciao, ciao. So good.